What is up, guys? My name is Dakota Ayers and welcome to Polished. This is going to be a YouTube series that I'm making on personal branding. I'm putting your content out there to the world and, not being afraid to freaking let people see your content. But first of all, I'll introduce myself. My name is Dakota Ayers. I'm 21 years old. I'm a graphic designer, co-founder of Last Free Souls Apparel, and I'm an entrepreneur. Growing up in a town of 50,000 people, Montana, a lot of people don't even know where Montana was. So I felt like an underdog a little bit. I didn't grow up in New York City. I didn't grow up in LA where I kind of felt like my ideas could have gotten around by word of mouth. I really had to realize what the power of the internet was. So when I was 15 years old, I joined a network marketing company, and that really actually forced me to go on social media, to push myself on social media, to find connections, which was something I was completely unfamiliar with at the time. I started to meet people on there, and basically all of my connections that I made in network marketing came through Facebook. The company that I worked for, dissolved back in 2015, and I still see people who I worked with back in 2015 or 2014 who their Instagrams, their Facebooks, all their social medias are still absolutely blowing up. And this is 2018, 3-4 years later. And what I really think about when I see that is, any one of us can do that. I can see someone who I knew in 7th grade who has 15,000 followers on Instagram now. I'm sure you guys could probably look at someone who you know or who you know through, its second or third degree who actually has an incredibly huge social media, guys. Knowing that, I think that we should realize that anybody can do it. Anybody can put their message out there and kind of succeed, whether it's you're a motivational speaker, or whether you're an artist, or whether you're a musician. It doesn't really matter, guys, because social media has gotten so huge that it allows every single one of us to kind of just put our passions out there. And it's kind of liberating because it frees us to put our passions out there. So I kind of want to dive into why I'm making this YouTube video series for you guys, and that's basically personal branding. I kind of want to show you guys why it's important to brand yourself, and why in the next 5 to 10 years, it's probably going to be even more important then than it is going to be now to actually personally brand yourself and to get your own message out to the world, because I don't really see too many opportunities in the future existing for people who don't want to take advantage of social media. And that's just an honest truth. I don't know if that's where things are going to go, but honestly, that's what I see, and that's what I've heard from a lot of people is, social media is going to take over the world. It already has, guys. If you think about it, probably 100% of people watching this probably have a Facebook. 100% of the people watching this probably have an Instagram. 80% of you probably have a Twitter account. Social media is huge, and it plays a pivotal part of our lives every single day, whether we want to believe it or not. So another thing that I want to say about personal branding, guys, is, anyone can do it. Like I said earlier, just think back to some of the people that who, might have 10,000 followers on Instagram, and you're sitting there thinking, how the hell did this person get 10,000 followers on Instagram? Well, it's possible because they basically did the same exact things that people before them were doing. It's a replicatable system, guys. It's not like you have to rebuild the wheel. However, what you really do have to do that is unique, I guess, is you'd have to put your message out there. You can't fabricate something else and put someone else's message out there, because there's too much of that. People are able to recognize that. People are able to see genuine things that you're putting out in this world. I mean, social media is huge, so it's easy to see things that are repeating themselves over and over again. But what I want to talk about in this video specifically to you guys is basically not polishing your content. And what I say by that is, your hair doesn't need to be perfect. Your makeup doesn't need to be perfect. You don't need to have a fucking smile on your face all the time, guys. Your content does not need to be absolutely perfect, because perfect doesn't exist. They say that practice makes quote unquote perfect, which, I mean, the more and more content that you put out, you'll get better and you'll get better and you'll get better until you hit almost perfect. Perfect doesn't exist though. So don't worry about being perfect. I can go to a movie theater and go see an $800 million Hollywood production and still see mistakes in there, guys. So it's okay that it's not perfect. You should actually be liberated by the fact that, it doesn't have to be perfect, because that'll actually drop a lot of pressure off your shoulders to do it, guys. Another thing too is if you keep on doing it, you're gonna have more content. You're gonna actually have more expertise for yourself, and your audience is also gonna have more to engage with and more to actually appreciate you for. Whereas if you're sitting back there polishing your content, you're polishing your videos or your Instagram posts or whatever, you're actually going to be holding yourself back because you're not able to put out as much content. Whereas, say for instance, you could have been taking a YouTube video and editing it for one day, where at the same time, that same exact day, you could have taken 3 YouTube videos and uploaded them all. And that's way more content than you would have had if you just had the first video. So don't worry about being perfect, guys. People would actually rather buy into something that's genuine. People would rather buy into your ideas rather than, worrying about how your makeup looked. I mean, unless you're a makeup artist, don't worry about how the fuck your makeup looks, guys. Just put your content out there. One thing I will say though is, like, don't actually just, say fuck my audience, things need to look good, and you need to be able to connect with your audience. There's definitely some things that you need to keep in mind, such as having your own style, guys. Me being a graphic designer, me being an entrepreneur and a business owner, I'm probably going to be rocking my Last Free Soul stuff all the time when I'm doing these videos. I have my own way of doing my speeches. I'm not just sitting on YouTube studying people so I can figure out how to speak on a YouTube video, because, I mean, in essence, I'd just be replicating somebody else. I wouldn't even be having my own style if I really focused on trying to bring content that's similar to someone else's. Guys, no, bring your own style. People are going to buy into something that's different, something that they haven't seen before. Another thing you guys should really think about is think about all the terrible content that you've seen out there. Go look at YouTube, go look at Facebook, at Instagram. I guarantee you there's some absolutely freaking terrible content out there that you guys have seen, and know that you guys can do better than that. That's already a bar that you can step above when you're entering it. This social media world, it gives you an automatic entry-level position if you know that you can do better than some of the shit content that you've seen out there, guys. Because let's be honest, I'm sure you can relate. There's been a lot of terrible content on the internet. And I know that you guys can do better than that. I know that I can, and just you guys watching this, I know that you guys can do better than that. But you also still need to do things that are catching people's attention. As a graphic designer, I always have my eye on, what people like, what's the fashion trend of this world. So you kind of need to realize what's going on around the industry that you're doing and the ideas that you're pushing out, while still having your own style, guys. Be doing graphic design, I might have to throw out 25 designs first before I realize what people are really starting to catch on to. And that's okay, because like I said earlier, I'm getting better along the process, and I wasn't afraid to just throw my content out there. I think that's one thing you should always do, is like overcome your fear, guys. And that's one of the best feelings that you can do, especially when you're putting content out, especially when you're taking YouTube videos and sitting in front of a camera, because it's not one of the easiest things to do. But once you do it, it's actually a very, very liberating feeling. And last thing I gotta say to you guys is just give, guys. Give, because your content, your audience is not gonna be willing to take in your content without, them feeling like they're actually getting something out of it. You don't have to physically give them things. You don't have to physically send them sweatshirts or, thank you letters or blah, blah, blah. But you need to do something that's actually giving your audience content, that's giving your audience something to connect with, that they can walk away from it and it still has an impact on them. So guys, thank you guys for watching this video. I'm definitely going to be having more coming. And guys, just go and do it. Go put your content out there and fuck polishing it, guys. Just put it out.